What's good, DMV Sports Zone? It's Noah, and I'm here with a hockey-related video, and it's a little bit of a hot take, but there's a lot of evidence to support this, why Alexander Ovechkin is the greatest athlete in professional DC sports history. I know there's Darryl Green, Hall of Famer, College Football Hall of Fame, one of the greatest corners to ever play the game, but after the end of this video, I'll make you a believer as to why Ovechkin is the greatest DC sports player in the history of this great city. So without further ado, again, I'm the CEO of Sport AI. If you want your fantasy sports lineups to be optimized with the power of AI and a mobile app, link on that in the bio. Without further ado, let's get started. So first off, why is Alexander Ovechkin the greatest player of all time? Let's break it down to two things. Sheer accolades and impact in their individual sport, as well as impact in the DMV community. So I don't think you realize Ovechkin is the LeBron of hockey. Arguably the greatest goal scorer of all time, and now closing in top 3 all time in goals. Has a real chance at 36 years old, still scoring 50-goal seasons, to beat Wayne Gretzky's unbeatable all-time goal-scoring record. Let's just ring off some of Ovechkin's accomplishments right off the bat. So 9 50-goal seasons is the second most all-time by a player. He actually has more 50-goal seasons than any of the active players combined. And that includes some big names like Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, a lot of future Hall of Famers, top 100 players of all time. They don't even come close. Like I said before, third all-time in goals, 8 first-team All-Star selections, 4 second-team All-Star selections, a 12-time All-Star, 36 NHL and Capitals records, an Art Ross trophy for the leading scorer. 9 times he led the league in goals. 3-time the media MVP, which is the Hart Memorial Trophy. 3-time MVP voted by the players, the Lester B. Pearson Trophy, a Conn Smythe, and a Stanley Cup as the world champion of the NHL. And this cannot be understated. That puts him inarguably minimum top 5 players of all time. The consistency, the peak, you can argue anything you want. Ovechkin has it all. Has played with multiple coaches, multiple different playing styles, and consistently day in, day out, the greatest goal scorer in the league. He's like LeBron. His longevity is unmatched. At 6'3", 245 pounds, he's an anomaly amongst hockey players. He's the size of a middle linebacker in football, yet has the durability that a lot of other players similar to him simply did not have in their NHL careers. Another thing is the impact outside of the game and in the city. Hockey in the early 2000s was an afterthought in the DMV area. But since Ovechkin was drafted in 2004, the sport hasn't seen growth like this before. 19 teams across the DMV are youth travel programs, with youth attendance tripling since Ovechkin entered DC. He has changed the course of not only Capitals fan base, but the sport of hockey as a whole in the DMV area. Arguably, in terms of numbers, the third highest youth participation behind football and basketball, currently even outpacing soccer at the youth level as of 2022. That can't be understated, because Darryl Green, legendary player, arguably the great, obviously no doubt in my mind, the greatest Redskin / Commander / Washington football team, whatever you want to call it, player of all time. He has the accolades, 2 Super Bowls, part of that Redskins dynasty. But football's always been a popular sport. Ovechkin turned what was an afterthought of a sport in ice hockey to one of the most popular sports in the DMV area. So you want to measure from the individual accolades all the way to the impact that he made in the community. Ovechkin cannot be questioned. Of course, I know there's a lot of controversy right now, especially with the Ukrainian conflict, on his legacy and what he'll leave behind. But the impact in terms of the charity, serves as involvement with the Nova Cool Cats Special Needs Program at Kettler Iceplex in Arlington, to the impact in the entire DMV will not be overshadowed by some of the recent controversy. His accolades stand by itself, and his impact in the community cannot be measured. He got the keys to the city way back in 2010 by former DC Mayor Adrian Fenty for his impact in the city and in the community. Ovechkin, as a player, is the greatest goal scorer of all time and arguably a top 3 player, top 5 player in the history of the National Hockey League. And his impact in the community and the growth of support makes this undeniable claim, in my opinion, that Ovechkin is the greatest athlete in the history of DC sports. I know it's a pretty quick video, but I wanted to get that off my chest, especially after going to see him live only 2 days ago, seeing that longevity, seeing that absolute skill in person, and a standing ovation for a reason. We may never see a player like Ovechkin ever again. Combination of elite size, elite skill, elite goal scoring in any era. There has never been a player like Ovechkin, and there may never be one again. Very similar to LeBron. You can argue if he's a GOAT or not. In my opinion, he's a minimum top 3. Just like LeBron, there may never be another Alexander Ovechkin in the history of hockey. Everyone's trying to find the next one. And, he's been playing for almost 20 years now. They have never found a player even close. So that concludes today's video. I want to hear your thoughts. Who you think is the DC Sports GOAT. You know my argument for Ovechkin. I can see an argument for Dale Green as well. Maybe there's someone else that you're thinking of. In my opinion, there's no one even close to those two. That's the real Mount Rushmore in DC Sports. But I'd love the debate in the comments. So, again, this is Noah, DMV Sports Nation. I hope you share that opinion. You appreciate Ovechkin while he's still here. You go catch a Capitals game. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.